YouTube, what is up? It's Fatal here, and today I am bringing you a Battlefield 1 Conquest gameplay. Now, I'm jumping you in the middle of a gameplay because Battlefield games are way too long, and I honestly don't have 22 minutes of things to talk about. But I do want to talk to you guys today about whether or not I think video games should be considered a sport, and some of the effects that might come about if we as a society considered video games to be a sport. So let's jump right in. Now, we know that by definition, a sport is any activity that requires physical exertion and strategy in which an individual or team competes for entertainment. Now, that comes straight from the dictionary. I'm not paraphrasing anything. So, we are aware that sports require physical exertion. I'm not trying to say that video games require the same amount of physical exertion, because they don't. There is a lot of training that go into becoming a professional athlete in sports such as football and basketball, and they are very physically fit, and it requires a lot of hard work and dedication. But that's not where my argument lies. I'm trying not to equate video games and sports, but I am simply trying to state that I think video games could be considered a sport because of other reasons. The strategy involved in playing video games is definitely at the same level as any other sport, but it's a different type of strategy. You make game plans in football depending on what team you're playing, and as an athlete, your job is to follow the game plan to ensure a win for your team. The same concept is applied to video games as well. Game plans are made based on what game you are playing, what the objective is, and who you are playing, and who you're playing with, for that matter. There are different types of plays and things of that nature that gamers come up with to ensure a seamless victory, just like in football, and just like in basketball, and just like in any other sport. So the strategy is virtually the same. So what happens if video games do become a sport? Why is it beneficial to create a new culture where video games are considered a sport? One word: opportunity. There are a number of vast opportunities that could be created. What if gamers could get scholarships for being part of the competitive video game team? What if there could be competitive Call of Duty or Battlefield or Dota or League of Legends at the college level, just like there are sports at the college level, run by the NCAA? Now, according to NCAA.org, NCAA Division I and II schools award $2.7 billion. That's billion with a B, to over 150,000 student athletes each year. And Division III schools do not award athletic scholarships, just FYI. But $2.7 billion and 150,000 student athletes. That's pretty crazy. That's a huge number, and that's an enormous number of opportunities for so many athletes, and that's great. So, I don't know, the idea behind the NCAA is to propel student athletes to the next level and get them to go pro, pretty much. That's what the idea is. So there are so many people, a vast majority of unlikely candidates who go to school with significantly less scholarship money because they don't play a sport, but they could be good at video games. So if we made video games a sport and treated it as though it had some significance, just like football and basketball are treated, then there are a lot of people who could be on video game teams in colleges nationwide, and they might be able to play video games professionally and make a living doing what they love. And I am a strong believer that people should be able to do what they love for the rest of their life and be able to make money and sustain a family and have fun with what they do. And I think that by doing that and making video games considered a sport, it would really strongly make a case for people who want to do that. That's what YouTube is for me. It's a dream. It's a hobby. It's not necessarily going to be my career per se, but I would love for it to be. And I know that it's a long shot of me getting famous and paid and things of that nature, but I just think that if we gave a fraction of what football, basketball, and volleyball are able to give in scholarship money to students, I think it could change the culture. Which brings me to my next point. If video games were considered a sport, there wouldn't be such a negative attitude toward them. I mean, yes, in some cases, video games can be unhealthy and cause obesity, laziness, and so forth. But just like with other sports, if there were certain regulations you had to uphold with your body in order to compete, there would be more motivation to ration time you play and a lot more time for exercise to stay physically fit. And again, I need to reiterate, I do not think that video games require nearly as much physical exertion or training. All I'm saying is that if we were able to regulate exercise required by gamers like we do with athletes, then it wouldn't cause as many health problems, and it wouldn't change, or it would change the attitude some people have about video games. And if it makes people money, and it wouldn't be frowned upon when people say, quote, it's what I want to do, it's what they love, it's what they want to do for the rest of their life, and it wouldn't be as frowned upon, and it could actually be a viable option. You could go to school for it, and I think that that would be an awesome opportunity for gamers to have. Lastly, I just think that it would be awesome to see gaming nerds like me more glorified, in that I don't think it's fair that people who play a lot of video games stereotypically get made fun of, while people who are constantly in the weight room or on the field or court are praised for working hard. Playing video games for me is sometimes practice. I'm constantly working to get better at video games, and I think that the same concept applies. If I'm always playing video games because I want to get better, then what's the difference between me playing video games a lot and the guy who's in the weight room all the time? That's what I don't get. That's what I'm arguing for. And I genuinely feel like people shouldn't get made fun of for playing video games, and I know for a fact that if we considered them to be more than just games and we consider them to be a sport, the people who play them would see less ridicule and more praise. Well, that's pretty much all I have to say about that, and that's all I have for you today. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching. It really means the world to me, and I would really love it if you guys would let me know in the comments section below what you think about this topic, and if you think that there's anything that I missed. Depending on what your opinion is, it doesn't matter. You could be for video games being a sport, you could be against it. I just want to see what people think, and it's really important to me that you guys leave some feedback. If you like this video, make sure you leave a like rating. If you dislike this video, make sure you leave a dislike rating. Remember, any publicity is good publicity. I'm looking to start uploading a lot more coming up pretty soon. I've had a weird transitional phase between high school and college. I'm no longer living in Texas. I'm now in Missouri, and I'm just adjusting to freshman year and campus life and things like that. And it's been a pretty weird transition, but I'm doing the best I can. I'm just trying to set a schedule, and I'm just trying to make sure that I can get everything done that I need to get done before I start having YouTube become a bigger part of my life. But I'm going to try really hard to get some more gameplays up for you guys, and more commentaries and more things like this, because I think that this is informational, and I think it's beneficial to you guys as a community to hear opinions on what you think and what I think and what other people think about this topic. So I'm going to try and see if I can get more videos up like this, more real talks, you know? So anyway, make sure you guys subscribe and leave a like rating, leave a dislike rating, whatever you think. Yeah, so let me know what you guys would like to see. Again, don't forget to subscribe, and it's been Fatal.